Hello, my name is Verne McKamey, and I'm here to share with you a story about what are we calling this, Dave? We have a name for your program.
Advent
Advent
Kindness Kit.
Kindness Kits. We're here to talk about you want me to start over?
No, it's okay. Let's roll.
We're here to talk about today's Advent Kindness Kit. And to do that, I think first I should point out that I've been around Pender for a long time. My wife and I actually got married here about 15 years ago in the chapel, and we were attending a little bit prior to that. And so we are involved in various things. One of the things I was involved with for a long time was Sunday school, and I still help with that a little bit. But I'm retired now, so it means I travel some, and I'm not always available for Sunday school. But I like to help when I can. And which brings me to the kindness card that I picked out for you to think about doing today, or today being December 21st, actually. We're taping a little early. But I picked out the one that says you can draw a picture or write a thank you note to a police officer. Now, we've got a place in the lobby of the church where you can put your notes or pictures, and we'll make sure they get to the police officers. And if I was to write one, I might say something as simple as, "Dear police officer, thank you for helping us live in peace." And sign it, and that's all there'd be to it. And they would love to hear from you. So that's your mission for today. Write a thank you note or draw a picture for a police officer, bring it to church, and put it in the basket. Now, today's not memory verse, but today's passage that we're reading about is from Matthew. You've been hearing about the Christmas story as it's recorded in Luke, and now we're going to see how Matthew wrote about the same events. He's a little different because Matthew was a member of Jewish faith, whereas Luke was like a doctor and a Greek at that. So her perspectives are a little different, but you're going to find their stories are very much the same. And so we'll start in Matthew chapter 1, where this has a subtitle of The Family Line of Jesus the Messiah. So this is a written story of the family line. Oh, I should tell you first. The translation I'm using today is the NIRV, that's New International Reader's Version. And I picked that because that's the version used in my favorite children's Bible. So you might have that at home. If not, I highly recommend that you ask for one, and you'll get it. Here's how it tells the story. This is the written story of the family line of Jesus the Messiah. He is the son of David. He is also the son of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac. Isaac was the father of Jacob. Jacob was the father of Judah and his brothers. Judah was the father of Perez and Zerah. Tamar was their mother. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Rahab and Boaz's mother. Boaz was the father of Obed. Ruth was Obed's mother. Obed was the father of Jesse, and Jesse was the father of King David. David was the father of Solomon. Solomon's mother had been Uriah's wife, and Solomon was the father of Rehoboam. Rehoboam was the father of Abijah. Abijah was the father of Asa. Asa was the father of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat was the father of Jehoram. Jehoram was the father of Uzziah. Uzziah was the father of Jotham. Jotham was the father of Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Hezekiah. Hezekiah was the father of Manasseh. And Manasseh was the father of Amon. Amon was the father of Josiah. Josiah was the father of Jeconiah and his brothers. And at that time, the Jewish people were forced to go away to Babylon. After this, the family line continued. Jeconiah was the father of Shealtiel, and Shealtiel was the father of Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel was the father of Abihud. Abihud was the father of Eliakim. Eliakim was the father of Azor. Azor was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Achim. Achim was the father of Elihud. Elihud was the father of Eleazar. Eleazar was the father of Mattan. Mattan was the father of Jacob. Jacob was the father of Joseph. Joseph was the husband of Mary, and Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. Now, we've got more to read, we could make a long study out of just understanding who all these people were. Suffice it now to know that many of them were kings for the Jews. And that's the lineage that Jesus came from. So there were 14 generations from Abraham to David. There were 14 from David until the Jewish people were forced to go away to Babylon. And there were 14 from that time to the Messiah. Sounds very orderly, structured. Then we find that Joseph accepts Jesus as his son. This is how the birth of Jesus the Messiah came about. His mother Mary and Joseph had promised to get married. But before they started to live together, it became clear that she was going to have a baby. She became pregnant by the power of the Holy Spirit. Her husband Joseph was faithful to the law, but he did not want to put her to shame in public. So he planned to divorce her quietly. But as Joseph was thinking about this, an angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream. And the angel said, "Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to take Mary home as your wife. The baby inside her is from the Holy Spirit. She is going to have a son. You must give him the name Jesus, and that's because he will save his people from their sins." And all this took place to bring about what the Lord had said would happen. He had said through the prophet, "The virgin is going to have a baby. She will give birth to a son, and he will be called Emmanuel." That's from Isaiah 7:14. The name Emmanuel means God with us. So Joseph woke up. He did what the angel of the Lord commanded him to do. He took Mary home as his wife, but he did not sleep with her until she gave birth to a son. And Joseph gave him the name Jesus. So that is the account in Matthew of how Jesus came to be born. And that's what this whole Advent study is all about, is celebrating the gift of that son and the promise he represented for all of us even today. Now, I guess one of the things you do is you have stickers to help build the nativity scene, the birth of Jesus in the manger. And if I was going to pick out something to add to my picture today, I think it would be the picture of the donkey. I don't know if you've used that already, but I'm going to use it today. And if you've already used it today, you probably had more than one donkey at the manger at the time all this happened. I guess I should have a picture of my manger there too. And so that will give you some idea. Why a donkey though? You got all these interesting people on your stickers, but why a donkey? Well, that brings me to my shirt, you might have noticed. It was, I mentioned I was married in the church to, my wife Debbie likes to decorate me for Christmas. And so this is one of her decorations. And now that I am not needing to read anymore, I can put on some glasses that go with it. If I were to try to read now, everything's fuzzy and it wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. But now I kind of match the chill reindeer on my chest. And so I got a question for you, maybe a story, maybe a riddle. But this is something that my chill reindeer asked me to tell you. Do you know how much it costs for Santa and his reindeer to park?